What's up, guys? MrGimms back again, and today we're going to talk about the skill-based matchmaking test results and behavior. I've broken it down. We're currently doing this in stream, and I am going to read through this massive essay and find out exactly how behavior have broken it down and exactly what they were testing on what day, because I think that's really kind of what everyone's interested in. I understand my chat has read all of this so far. They're all pretty much in the know, and I know nothing but except for what I've learned from you guys. But let's get into it. Over the past week, we've run a series of short matchmaking tests based on various feedback we've received. These range from making the matchmaking faster, stricter, various combinations in between, and yes, even disabling skill-based matchmaking and reverting to the old grade-based system, which was then ranks. We want to start by thanking everyone. Yeah, okay, I'll skip to the next one. We've kept the details of the test a secret until now. Yeah, that's fine. Fair warning, this is going to be a very long and technical one. Well, that's fair enough, I guess. At least they're willing to break it down. Variables. We have a bunch of settings which we can tweak behind the scenes. Here's a quick rundown on the ones we changed during the tests. The first is maximum range. When you search for a match, we try to find other players who are close to your rating within 50 points. I wish we could see MMR, man. God, I hate that. I hate that. You're using points because that's exactly what MMR is typically, and you're not showing us. So it's like there's no sort of reference point. If we aren't able to do so, to search gradually expands until we find someone with your match. By default, this is set to a 500 points away from your own rating. Yep. This is so you're guaranteed to get a match after waiting a while, though it may not be the fairest. That's true. The second is expansion time. This is how long it takes to reach the maximum range. By default, this is set by 5 minutes. Okay. Then we have a few switches we can toggle. These are bi-directional matchmaking. Normally, once one player has been waiting too long, other players can be pulled into a match. As long as they're within the maximum range, bi-directional matchmaking requires both players to have expanded enough to encompass each other for them to be pulled into the same match. By default, this is off. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. If this sounds confusing, don't worry. It's complicated. Don't stop undermining people. You always do that. I know it's a little bit confusing. It's a lot like hockey. Just chill out. Here's a little chart to clear things up. So player A, yep, fine. Player B, yep. So what's this do? Okay. Each player's actual rating is shown in red. Okay, sweet. And the current matchmaking search is shown in blue. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I get it now. In example 1, player A's search is expanded to cover player B. Yeah, I gotcha. But player B has not yet expanded to cover player A. Yeah, true. Okay. So they won't be matched together. In example 2, both players have expanded enough to cover each other so they can now be matched together. Yeah, this all makes sense. When they use the default undirectional matchmaking, both examples would be eligible for a match. Okay. Jesus Christ. Grade visibility. This one's nice and simple. We can switch off grades and post-match screens since they typically aren't used for matchmaking. Typically aren't used, eh? Okay. This doesn't have any effect, but we are curious to see how people feel about it and it affects their perception of matchmaking. I don't like that sentence already. It's not a perception. I mean, obviously, if you're an idiot and you don't realize that grades don't matter, then I don't know how to help you, but the grades don't matter. So it's not about the perception. It's how the game feels when you're in the game. Grade-based matchmaking. We can switch off skill-based matchmaking entirely and use grades for matchmaking. For folks who joined us recently, this is roughly how the matchmaking worked before the introduction of skill-based matchmaking. It's fair. The tests. And now you've been waiting for just what exactly we tested each day. Yeah, we know. Okay. So test 1. Expansion time decreased to 1 minute from 5 minutes. Okay, so a 4-minute wait time. Expectation faster matches, particularly for players in off-peak times, so night times and sort of like middle of the night, early morning. Though the quality of matches would be low, I definitely felt that. 100% it was Potato City for me, wasn't it? Okay. Results. As expected, wait times dropped significantly across the board, faster than that of day 1, faster than the other days, especially for the players on the extreme ends of the rating spectrum. The quality of matches on average did not damage a whole lot, though some players have noticed a larger gap in skill. 100%. 100%. It was Potato City, guys. It was fucking ridiculous. Oh, right. I was getting 4Ks with Ghostface and Legion consistently. Kill rates noticeably changed on the ends of the spectrum, with high-rated killers becoming more deadly and low-rated killers having a harder time. This is likely due to players on the ends of the spectrum being paired with other players from the middle. Yeah, okay. All right, test 2. Maximum range decreased to 250 from 500, so lowering that gap again. Slower matches, especially for players with extraordinary high or low ratings, but higher quality matches in general. Yeah. It definitely picked up on that one, didn't it? Like we predicted, wait times did increase for players on either end of the spectrum, although players in the middle did not have a noticeable impact. That's interesting. Overall, this test only slightly reduced the average rating experience compared to the non-test day, though curiously, players on far ends of the spectrum may have seen an increase. Yeah, true. Okay. All right, test 3. Enable bi-directional matchmaking. That is just fucking... Okay. Longer queue times for players in off-peak and players at the extreme end of the rating spectrum, but fairer matches for players that get matched quickly. That's pretty cool. Longer queue times were an understatement. Some players were experiencing exceptionally long queue times, 15 minutes plus. Well, to be fair, that's the usual with your current system right now. As a survivor, I wait 15 minutes sometimes. This is because there weren't enough players to match them against that Legion because you've lowered the bi-directional. Yeah, that makes sense. The players who were close enough to their skill level were not getting matched with them unless they were in... Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay, I get it. This is longer than we'd ever like anyone to wait. Really? Well, people are doing that now with your system. I don't understand this, guys. To play it safe, we cut this test short and altered it in a few hours in. Okay, fair enough. But like I said, you've got it consistently on. A hard cap was added to switch back to the default undirectional matchmaking after someone has been waiting for 5 minutes. This cap was used to all feature tests where bi-directional matchmaking were used. Okay, so they did this one for a few hours. Of all the tests, this one reduced the average rating difference the most, cutting it by roughly a third. However, the long queue time makes this fairly unappealing solution. I definitely agree with that, and I'm glad they're not going with this. Okay. Okay, test 4, I believe. Maximum range decreased to 250 from 500. Expansion time increased to 1 minute from 5 minutes. Okay. Expectation. Players who already get a quick matches may notice a slight drop in quality, but players on the far ends may find matches quicker. On the other hand, the lowered range may limit the pool of players. Yeah, I was just going to say, that would definitely limit things, especially in off-peak times, to match with the far ends of the rating spectrum. Results, queue times for survivors were faster across the board. Yeah, I definitely agree. March 31st. Definitely agree. I had like 1 minute queue matches. But killer queue times had no noticeable difference, yet insta-queues. It's just an insta-queue for me anyway. In terms of kill rates on the mid-high and end of skill caps, kill rates drop slightly. Interesting. While the lower groups remain mostly the same. This test also earned the second biggest reduction in average rating difference in all tests. Okay. Yeah. That wouldn't be good for a longevity sort of... April 4th, maximum range decreased 350, so they're going down with that range again. Expansion time decreased by 1 minute from 5, enabled bi-directional gate. Okay, so they're doing the bi-directional thing for this. Matchmaking may be slower for some players, but the quality of matches should improve. Yeah. Survivor queue times were faster across the board, while killer queue times remain mostly the same, which is instant, with the exception of far lower end in skill rates. Kill rates, meanwhile, climbed at the higher skill levels and remained mostly unchanged at the lower end. The average rating difference didn't decrease noticeably with the test. Okay. They might be onto something with that, but I don't know. April 7th, test. I don't know what we're on to now. These guys have fucking... How many tests have we got? Jesus Christ. Switch to grade. Okay, yeah. Oh, I've missed one, haven't I? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. April 4th, and then the April 7th one. Yeah, we've done that one. Yeah. Enable bi-directional. Yeah, okay, we did that one. Okay. With grades hidden, that's right. They did this one with the grades hidden. 350 still from 500. More or less the same results as the previous test as the variables are the same. We were curious to see what kind of an impact hiding grades would have on the feedback we received. Yeah, but this is just stupid because it's idiotic perception of newer players, and I'm not even trying to make fun of them, but they don't understand that the grades don't matter. Do you know how much comments I get in YouTube guys, of people saying, "Oh my god, all I do is go against iridescent grades, iridescent rank." They always say rank as well. Iridescent rank, killers or survivors, or it's unfair. And it's just I'm so sick of saying that it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I'm just so sick of it. But like at the same time, behavior, it just looks like it matters. Like innately from a game design point of view, grades and ranks or whatever the hell we want to call them, they look like they matter, but they don't matter. It's very confusing for new customers. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be able to see blurps, I don't think. Shit, man. Sorry. I'm in a different screen where blurps isn't enabled. Anyway. What do you mean? I'm reading it now. Is this good or bad? Anyway. Okay. Only we hid grades as well. This way we could improve feedback to the previous test to see how grades affected the sentiment. Yeah, okay. To our surprise, the overall feedback appeared slightly more positive with grades hidden. Okay. When directly comparing opinions from folks who left feedback on both the April 4th and 7th tests, we discovered that the feedback was usually from the same, if not better, from grades were hidden. We opted to leave grades hidden over the weekend. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you did. I noticed that as well when I played on Saturday night. Switch to grade-based matchmaking, and this was on April 11th and 12th. These tests were added later as we started to see more speculation about the tests. Occasionally, someone would predict that one of the things we were testing was the old matchmaking system, and we figured, hey, why not give it a shot? That's fair enough. Expectation: matches would have a lot more variety in player skill. Yeah, that's definite, because that's what grades did. Very similar to the old rank-based matchmaking, we also expected to see the average grade difference fall dramatically. Results: as we suspected, reports of one-sided matches started flooding in. We can also confirm that on our end, the average kill rates for the day saw the most dramatic change yet, and the highest skill levels rocketing up to 80%. Okay, so this is obviously not the way to go. The kill rates are up massive when you're doing the grade system, like when you're going off the grade system, and it's not healthy. You've got somebody with like over 4K hours like myself who's dominating somebody with 5 hours. It's not good. We can't do this system anymore. 3 kills per match on an average, man. On an average as well across the community. And plummeting to around 20%. 1 kill per match on average on the lower end of the spectrum. Wow. On the lowest end. The average grade difference, however, decreased significantly as expected. Now, to be clear, this is not quite the same as the old rank-based matchmaking. For starters, grades reset all the way back to bronze, while ranks only reset by color tier. That's very true. I forgot about that. Yeah, so if like you were iridescent, you'd go to silver or whatever. Or they expanded that later on as well. And it's not possible to lose grades anymore. We wanted to give it a fair shot, so we specifically set this test as close to the grade reset as possible to give people the largest window to settle into their grades. This is also why the last day was cut short. We didn't want to leave the test running over the grade reset since that would have everyone matched against anyone. Okay. Furthermore, 1-2 day test. Okay, I think we get it. Yeah. I'm not going to keep reading that. Yeah. This test was very polarizing. Yeah, I can imagine so. But interesting. It started to see more positive feedback when we started showing grades again. Because it's the perception of the grades, man. This indicates that there's definitely a strong connection between seeing grades in the post-match screen and the sentiment about the match. Again, more experienced people are going to always say that it's about the match, not about the grade. You can tell when you're playing against experienced players when you're in the match. The grade means nothing, but whatever. How are we all feeling about this? Anyway, learnings. Okay. We've learned that the strictness of the matchmaking and the quality of the matches is without a doubt linked. Looser conditions had a noticeable effect on kill rates, opponent variety, and also the feedback we received. While the larger variety in opponents was appreciated by some, there were an opposite reaction from others, who are now struggling in tougher matches, or the other way around. Simply put, on the other side of the casual match where one player can win without trying is a person who's having a bad time despite trying their best. That's a very good way of putting it. Yeah. On the other hand, the inverse is also true. Exactly. Yeah, I'm not going to read it because I just explained it. You know, you could just be slaughtering everyone. These tests overall highlighted two distinct groups. High skill players who want more variety in their matches. Yep. Lower mid skill players who understandably don't want to get destroyed by high skilled players. That's cool. Okay. Yeah, I can understand that. The biggest takeaway here is that we're going too far either way. It's never a one-size-fits-all solution. 100%, man. 100%. What we'd often notice is how some players loved a particular test because they were seeing more variety in their opponents, which I agree. I agree to that. But at the same time, these same tests were also frustrating to a lot of people who were suddenly getting matched with people way better than them. Neither person is wrong in this scenario. Each of them just expects something different from matchmaking. Yeah. Lastly, we have discovered in hiding grades on the post-match screen definitely influences the feedback we receive. 100% it would, because people believe it matters. We suspect this is for two reasons. One, long-time players who may have missed the matchmaking changes are still thinking that grades are used for matchmaking. That's true. Yeah, like I've said. And two, some players still feel like grades are an indicator of skill. Yeah, exactly. Most importantly, however, we found that there are a lot of support of hiding grades. So this is something that we'll be considering as a permanent change going forward. You market it as something that does matter, though. Does anyone understand what I'm saying when I keep saying that? It's your market. It looks like it matters. If something looks like it matters, then next steps. Christ. Okay. I'm not going to get angry at them for sharing information, though. I think this is probably the best. This is probably the best transparent information we've had in years. If I can give some positive feedback. None of this is negative to me so far. This is all really well explained. And I understand what they're on about. With all these learnings in mind, we have a solution that will improve matchmaking for both groups of players. We will be making the following changes shortly. Reducing the maximum range. Okay. Reducing the expansion time proportionately so it's no faster or slower than before. Yeah. Lowering the effective cap for skill ratings. So lowering the MMR. Removing grades from the post-match screen for the foreseeable future. How do I feel about that, man? What was the fucking point, I guess? That's what I'm thinking. If it doesn't exist, then if it doesn't matter, then why hide it? That's really weird. That's a pretty I like that they're going for the not one size fits all option. That's very good because it's totally true. You can't expect to have the game work functionally great for the lower skilled players, like new players and stuff like that, while at the same time catering for the long existent over 5k hour people. Do you know what I mean? Like that's also like that's I like that they've gone there. Okay, yeah, fine. Why are these changes? As mentioned in the learnings, we found two dominant groups. High skill players who want more variety, agree. Lower mid skill players who want even matches. Yeah, okay, I totally agree to that too, because that's the biggest thing I see whinged about on the forums, actually. Okay. In order to make both groups happy, we first need to isolate them from each other. Interesting. To do this, we'll reduce the maximum expansion. That makes sense with the parameters that they're changing. This will help keep players of similar skill levels together, reducing the number of one-sided matches. The majority of players fall in the middle of the spectrum, so there is still plenty of people to match with. Additionally, since it seems like the expansion is happening at a good rate, we'll be adjusting the expansion time proportionally. Yeah, so I really hope this is not going to affect matchmaking time, though. It's great that you're changing a couple of figures, but like if I'm waiting 15 minutes for a match, I don't know, man. I can't be asked. Next, we have to consider how this will affect the high school group. Reducing the range would mean less variety. Fortunately, we have another variable to tweak that solves this issue perfectly. Really? Why didn't you test it then? For the purpose of matchmaking, we have a cap for skill ratings. Yeah, we know how MMR works, mate. Although your rating can continue to climb beyond this cap, you'll be treated as if you're at the cap of the purposes of matchmaking. Yeah, this is a place to prevent the best players out there from climbing to a point where simply nobody can match with. Yeah. By lowering this cap, we're able to expand the pool of players in high skill matches, leading to more variety in the opponents you face. One match may be very close and competitive, but the next may be a little laid back. This is exactly what you guys sold us with skill-based matchmaking, though. So we're just back to square one? Because that's what you guys said. You're going to win a match, lose a match. Does anyone remember that? That's weird. This is exactly what skill-based matchmaking is. I don't know. That's really weird. That's what it's supposed to do. Do you know what I mean? Lastly, we're removing grades from the post-match screen. When we originally hid grades during the test, we saw a lot of people asking for this to be permanent, yet idiots. Additionally, long-time players who may have missed the news could often think that grades were still used for matchmaking. Okay, fine. For the future, we're still hard at work implementing... Yeah, I'm sure they're going to keep going. Yeah. Once again, we'd like to thank... Yeah, sweet. Okay, I'm finished reading. There's a lot of good here. A lot of good. This is stupid. See, like, skill-based matchmaking is supposed to be like you're in a competitive match, and then the next match is a little laid back, like a little bit. Like, no, you're still within your skill cap, sort of. You know what I mean? Maybe one person on the team has less hours or something like that. But that's how you sold us skill-based matchmaking. If you guys go back to the original patch, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be on an even keel now. You're gonna win a match, lose a match, win a match. You know, that's how it's gonna be. You've just explained that that's what you're going for in this, but it just like comes to, it begs to differ. Like, wasn't this the way it was always supposed to be? And like, if you don't know grades don't matter, maybe they should do something about that. Maybe they should have like even like text, right? Like in the main menu screen, when you're on your character screen, like in the top right hand corner, just even a note for a while. I know it's going to look a bit tacky, but like make it look all cool and whatever. And just have like, hey, by the way, grades don't matter. Grades don't matter with skill. It's a system that it shows you how much you've played this season, how well you've done in the season, because you can say that. It's a measure of how well you've done in a season because you've pipped most games and you've gone, you've climbed up. But like, if people don't know that already, like, what's the fucking point? Like, I just don't get it. If people want grades to be removed because I think they're just, I think they believe that it matters. That's my honest opinion. I don't know. But anyway, that's going to be it for the YouTube video. I appreciate you guys watching. Let us know what you guys think about the skill-based matchmaking results. I do want to end on a positive note and say at least they've shared it all honestly and concisely, and they've explained it in a really good way. So I really appreciate that behavior. I think it's really good. And let us know what you think in the comments, and I'll give it a read because I'm interested. All right, guys. Love you all. Catch you later.